Welcome back, viewers at home. You're still tuned in right here on INX Prime Channel 345. And our conversations tonight are all, around focusing on Mental Health Day, or rather World Mental Health Day. Now, as we approach the end of the year, many individuals are grappling with stress, anxiety, and feelings of disappointment over unmet goals and unreached targets, with World Mental Health Day being observed from October 8th to 10th. It's an ideal time to reflect on the importance of mental well-being, particularly as we face the pressure of fast-paced world. Today we are joined by Razia Mohamed, a life coach with extensive experience in helping people navigate their mental as well as emotional challenges. Assalamu alaikum, Razia. Welcome to INX Prime.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having me on again. It's always such a pleasure to chat to you.
It's been quite a minute, but jazakallah so much, for sparing us your time, for you to help us understand on what roles we can do or play in bettering our mental health state. Now, Razia, seeing that, World Mental Health Day is an important occasion, but in your view, why is it crucial for us to acknowledge as well as observe this day each year?
So it's so crucial for us to observe this every year because it brings about that sense of self-esteem, self-confidence. You get to re-evaluate what your year has been about, all your troubleshooting, your target factors. You address disorders such as anxiety, depression, your strengths, your weaknesses, and you can see how it is that you can improve on whatever it is that were your shortcomings for the year. That is why it's so important to always stress on mental health. Remember, physical health, you can go to a doctor, you can sort it out. Mental health, you cannot see. So you tend to only address it whenever the need arises, I would say. So when we realize that mental and emotional disease manifests itself in physical disease, then we will take mental health more seriously, I would say.
Now, we know that there are initiatives like that of, currently World Mental Health Day. I want to know from you, do you think they actually contribute to raising awareness about mental health issues on a global scale? And if so, how?
Absolutely, it definitely raises awareness. So you can get down with stress, right? You can then discover what it is that is stressing you out and what can you do to alleviate that stress, I would say. Then it's also to realize what abilities you have. Sorry. It's also to realize what abilities you do have. And it's also to learn well, work well, to contribute to community, also to become more compassionate, to become an empath. So to basically put yourself in the shoes of others when you find yourself reacting in a way that is counterproductive to relieving stress levels. And it's also about developing compassion then, right? With the Gaza situation that we are all experiencing for the entire year now, compassion is of utmost importance. So when you controlling your stress levels, you are able to look at the world around you. And when you look at the world around you, you kind of then take the focus away from I, and it becomes a we situation.
Now we know that, seeing that December is upon us and, the end of the year is quite near. And many people tend to feel stressed or disappointed about unmet goals and unfinished projects. Why do you think these feelings intensify during these times?
Well, what happens is that when you feel that your goals are unmet, when you feel that you haven't accomplished whatever it is that you wanted to set out to do, then it attacks your sense of self worth. It attacks your sense of self respect, self honor, those kind of things, because you feel like time is running out, right? And also, it's about societal expectations, I would say. So society, or basically social media, real versus real, what happens is you are basically put under pressure. So it brings you up to that kind of point where it makes you feel like everybody is running and stepping up, and you're the only one that is left behind. Okay, so it's designed to keep you on that hamster wheel of, instead of being a human being, we kind of being a human doing.
Ish.
So we always think that in order to be productive, you got to be doing all the time. When in actuality, human being is the way to be, because if you sit back, you introspect, you reflect, what you can really realize is that when you listen, you are learning more. Because when you are talking, all you are doing is talking, right? You're not learning anything.
Yeah.
But when you are listening, you are learning, and you are basically then going on to be very progressive and rather productive as well.
And I think this brings the conversation of how much power lies in you pausing and just taking that moment. Now, Razia, how common is it for people to experience mental health struggles like anxiety, stress, or even burnout as they reflect on the progress or lack thereof at the end of the year?
Well, I think this is so very, very common, right? Because as I say, it's the societal value systems, the belief systems, the idea that you need to be producing all the time in order to be effective. Also, when you're sitting on a round table, it's about what I have done until the end of the year. What have I produced? What have I accomplished? And for some people, just getting up in the morning and making sure that you get dressed and making sure that you just show up is an accomplishment. So I would say sit back, reflect, and be very, very kind to yourself, because you're doing well, you're doing enough. As long as you realize that you are alive, you are doing well.
Now, to individuals who feel overwhelmed by the pressure of unreached targets or goals for that matter, which they have set out at the beginning of the year, new year, new me, resolutions, and all the energies around that, what words of advice would you give to them tonight?
So you see, it is technologies. I would say it's on technology that what happens is, as soon as the end of the year comes and before January, you're always on about the resolutions. Now, let's face it, how many of us meet those resolutions, right? So I would say go easy on yourself. I would say that it's all about self discovery. So your unmet things that you were going to do is actually it's basically a reason for self discovery. So you allow your space for emotions, you allow yourself to feel. And then also, it's about being excited for the possibilities that lie ahead. So when you're ending off the year, congratulate yourself that I am enough. This is what I have done, and I am going to go on full speed ahead rather for the next year, but not in a negative space where I am not enough and I'm not doing enough according to what society says. Because remember, that perfect individual that you are looking at on social media that has all the ducks in a row and everything is checked and he or she is looking beautiful doing it. Remember, there's always a discrepancy there, rather, somewhere, because that person may be chasing likes, or that person may be in a space where they don't want to appear less than perfect. And that is already less than perfection, right?
Yeah, true. Now, how can we as, individuals go about shifting our mindset, or rather shaping our head spaces from focusing on what we didn't accomplish to what we are yet to learn and achieve, even if those goals are not met?
So, a lot of parents asked me, how can I make my child accountable for whatever it is that I want he or she to do? And why is it that they're not meeting the needs, right? So, parents sometimes want to live vicariously through the children, which is not a good idea. But bringing that also, I would say it's about the reward system. or it's about the merit system at the end of the day. So what you can do is that you can reward yourself for work well done. You can be kind to yourself for work well done. Or you can be kind to yourself for even starting anyway, right? Be kind to yourself. And also remember, the only competition that you should have is the person that you were yesterday.
Oh.
So when you are in competition with yourself, you automatically going to want to do better instead of wanting to do better than that person that appears perfect, as we said. And it's all about creating mind maps. It's all about baby steps, I would say. So very much the baby steps is going to get you from A to B very much in that positive and progressive manner.
Beautifully said, Razia. You know, I really enjoyed our conversation. But just as a takeaway, what are
Yeah.
your closing thoughts on our conversation around, you know, the idea of being kind to ourselves, you know, being, you know, looking forward to what lies ahead?
Absolutely. So I put some points there of self-care, right? So self-care is so vitally important. It's all about nutrition, physical activity. It's about making sure that you eat well, the positive mindset. It's all about avoiding burnout, right? So when you are going to be competing with anyone and everyone else, you are going to get that burnout. So it's about knowing when to take a time out. And when you know how to take a time out, you're going to refresh and you're going to be more effective because remember, nobody can pour from an empty cup, right? And you need to have a healthy relationship with yourself, self respect, self love, self honor. Show gratitude, be thankful, and count your blessings every day, right? Because Allah always says, be grateful and I will give you more, right? So embrace the lessons. It's all about hope, optimism, encouragement, courage, I would say, and very much kindness. So taking care of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and well being.
Razia, Jazakallah so much for joining us this evening. This has been quite a delightful conversation and quite enlightening at that. Jazakallah so much for joining us.
Jazakallah so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure to chat to you. And the last thing I would like to say is please enjoy your life. Please live, laugh, and be happy because you don't get out alive anyway. Okay.
Viewers at home, that was Razia Mohamed, life coach, sharing in on how you should be more kind to yourself, you know, be more caring to yourself. After all, you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's where we close it off for now. Let's head over to an ad break. See you when we come back.